I haven't seen anyone on YouTube talk about this method of getting cash buyers. I found something so simple, so obvious, that no one has even thought about covering this. This is the same strategy I used to close over 7 figures in wholesale fees in the last 3 years of my wholesale business, and today, I'm gonna expose it to you guys. This video is gonna show you how you can find cash buyers that are hiding in plain sight, and the best part, it's going to cost you $0. Make sure you watch this right now before everybody starts using this method. Before I dive into this strategy, I wanna share a story with you on exactly why I even use this method over everything else that is out there. Obviously, number one, it's free, it's $0. Second, when I first got started wholesaling, I was doing what everybody else was doing within the market. Let's go on Facebook. Let's go on PropStream, let's go on Bachelors, let's buy a list of cash buyers and start calling through them. Well, that's exactly what I was doing. And I had 5 properties under contract with 5 individual sellers. These were gonna be easily 10, 20K wholesale deals. We're talking about like 100 grand in assignment fees here, okay? Me, using the typical mainstream ways of getting cash buyers, I started doing that. And I found somebody who was willing to buy every single property that I had under contract at the time, those 5 contracts. And well, once closing day finally came, this buyer was nowhere to be found. He went ghost. No one knew where he went. Nobody even knew if that was his real name. Well, we come to find out it was just another wholesaler posing as a cash buyer that couldn't daisy chain the deal onto their cash buyers list. So once I got screwed over on almost $100,000 in assignment fees, I decided that I wasn't going to be using the Facebook method anymore, or the PropStream, or the Bachelors, and just buying lists, because there's a way that you can do it for $0. And listen, I'm not here to say that buying cash buyers list doesn't work, because I've seen it work for other people, but just from my experience and finding a way to do it for $0 and finding real cash buyers, there's no need to pay for lists, especially for beginners that don't have a lot of money to their name. Now, rather than just telling you about this strategy, I'm gonna actually show you, unlike a lot of other people are willing to do. So let's dive into it. Believe it or not, we're heading right over to Zillow. And you can do this on Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, doesn't matter. I just love using Zillow. So now that we're on Zillow and we're looking at the map, we're looking at the list of properties that are on the right side, I only wholesale real estate in Chicago, and just for other people out there, I'll try to do this in 2 other markets as well, just so you can see it's not just a Chicago strategy. So let's say I have a property under contract in Inglewood, Chicago, one of the worst neighborhoods in Chicago, and probably one of the most dangerous as well. So let's say I have a property under contract right over here in Inglewood. And let's say it's right over here on Loomis and 60th Street. Basically what you want to do, let's actually backtrack this for a second. Let's give a scenario without me even looking at the comps right now. Let's say I have a brick bungalow under contract, okay? A brick bungalow with a garage, okay? Let's start off with that. So what am I gonna try to do? I'm gonna try to find a buyer who recently bought something very similar to the one that I have under contract. So let's say it's right over here. I'm gonna wanna go to sold. The first thing you wanna do is look at the properties that have recently sold. Typically, I like to look about 12 months back. And then from there, I'm simply just looking on the right-hand side for properties that look very, very similar to mine. And not only that, they don't even necessarily have to be the same exact property that you have under contract. We're just looking for cash buyers now. So first off, looking at this one right here, very ideal that somebody probably isn't gonna, move their family into here. And let's also read the description. Boom, right here. Don't miss, ready for your rehab ideas. Sold as is, show and sell. It literally says in the description that it's ready for your rehab ideas. And it was bought for $36,000. I could assure you that a cash buyer bought this, a real estate investor bought this, just because nobody's gonna move their family into this. You just can't, it doesn't make sense. Let's keep looking though, let's keep looking. Let's look at this one that sold for $50,000. I'm gonna let you guys answer the question. Let's take a look at these pictures really quick. Does it look like somebody can actually live in this property? Does it look like they're gonna pass inspections to have somebody live in this property, move their family into? No, you obviously know, and I guarantee if I go to the description, it's gonna say something of as is, or ready for your rehab, or something along those lines. What does it say? As is investment property, cash sale only. Boom. This person who bought this is an investor. Let's keep on moving. Let's look at this one now. Same exact thing. No retail mom and pop home buyer is going to be buying this property. So we know that, hey, you want to find some cash buyers, look into the area that you have a property under contract in, look at the recently sold, go from low to high, and you'll find all those cash buyers are all the ones that are buying the cheapest properties on the market. But let's say you can't even find something like that. Let's try looking high to low. Ooh, let's look at this one right here that sold at $360. Let's take a look at the pictures. Well, looking at the windows, they got all of those new stickers in there, it looks like. So yeah, this is a brand new rehab. They got the stuff on the floor. You know, it looks fully up to date. Everything looks brand new in this property. They got nice little, accent walls in there. They don't even have appliances in there just yet because they want the actual buyer to, supply those. They did a really nice job on this one. Now let's take a look at the description. Freshly painted, updated 2-flat, new windows, new flooring, new HVAC, new kitchen countertops, update. Let me tell you, mom and pop, home buyers, home sellers, they're not gonna put all of that into it just before they sell it. They're not gonna make this look totally brand new, at least most regular people. Someone that's smart, they will do that. But let's also go here. Let's take a look at this. Boom, in 2020, it was sold at $32,000. What does that tell me? This probably wasn't livable during that time. They bought it, they fixed it up, and then they listed it for sale, and then they sold it. So we know that the previous owner of this property is an investor. How are you gonna get in contact with that person? Let's call the listing agent, the person who represented the seller. Let's give him a call. Or even better, you can go on to county records, you can look at the recorder of deeds, you can look at the tax assessor, whatever the county websites might be for your specific state or your specific county. You can actually look at who were all the previous owners of this property specifically. So just go back, see who it was, who bought it for $32,000. That's your cash buyer. Get in contact with them. Let's keep on moving. Let's try to find another example. This one as well. So again, we're finding a pattern recognition here. Everything looks brand new. The appliances have stickers on them. The countertops are all up to date, fully updated. The floors look new, or it looks like it's the original hardwood floors, and they just cleaned them up. Again, another accent wall. Accent walls weren't really a thing back in the day, so you know that this was probably bought by an investor. Let's take a look at the description. Rehab 2 unit. A rehabber fixed this up and sold it. Let's take a look at the purchase price and the price history. So it's not there, but I'm sure if you were going to the recorder of deeds or any specific county websites, you'd be able to see what they bought for it in the first place. So I can assure you that this is a rehabber who sold this property. As silly as this might sound, that's literally it. That's literally it. But just to give you guys some more reassurance, I'm gonna try this in a whole different state that I've never even closed a wholesale deal in. Let's look at Omaha, Nebraska. Let's take a look at Omaha, Nebraska. And just because this is a brand new city that I've never been to, I've never done any sort of marketing on this way, to make your life easier, what you can do, once you go to sold, and then once you go to sold in the last 12 months, type in a little keyword. Let's type in renovated. Let's apply it. Let's see what comes up. Let's go low to high, renovated. Look at here, a brand new rehab property that was sold for $225. Let's scroll down, let's look at the description. Fully renovated property. And it was sold 2 days ago. Let's look at the price history. Look at that. In February, it was sold at $65, quick 2-month turnaround. They sold for $225. This guy probably made a good amount. And on top of that, think about this for a second. This person bought a property, fixed it up, sold it. What happens when you make money in America? You have to pay taxes. What do real estate investors do to avoid taxes when they make profit on deals? Well, they 1031 exchange their proceeds, their profits, to a new property to avoid taxes. So not only are you finding real cash buyers, but you're finding cash buyers that are ready to buy, that might be wanting to 1031 their money and avoid paying taxes. These are buyers that are ready to go ASAP. But I'm obviously not gonna stop there. Let's keep looking. Let's look at this one that sold at 75. Oh, what do you know? It looks like it's listed on the market now at 170. Boom, fully rehabbed. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but it's renovated. Look at this. Let's see. Meticulously renovated home. Boom. Let's look at the price history. Okay, so last August, a day after my birthday, it sold for $75,000. And about a few months later, they listed it for sale for $180. Quick turnaround. Are you starting to pick up on the patterns that I'm looking for to really identify if this is a cash buyer? Because obviously they don't have in the descriptions, a cash buyer used to own this, or a cash buyer bought this, a real estate investor, wholesalers, here's your cash buyer. They're obviously not putting that in there. So the biggest things that you need to look out for is this. Now, to make this as easy as possible for you to find cash buyers, I'm gonna give you a little checklist to go through each and every time you're trying to find your cash buyers, or when you're trying to build out your cash buyers list. Number one, a quick turnaround. Notice how a lot of those properties that I was looking at were bought within, let's say August, and then it was sold around January. It's a pretty quick turnaround. The second thing to look out for is it's just completely torn apart. It's just not livable. Why do I want you to have that on your checklist? Is because no mom and pop home buyer is gonna be moving into a completely rundown property. Now, on the flip side of things, you can also look at fully renovated properties. Properties on the inside that look like they have brand new kitchens, brand new bathrooms. They're kind of up to the trends with the accent walls and things like that. The reason being is because you can look at those properties, go down to the price history and see, was it a quick turnaround? Does it say anything about completely renovated, brand new this, brand new that in the description? Those are things you want to look out for when you're looking for the rehabbed properties. And lastly, I kind of just said it, but when you go to the description and it says investor special or sold as is or fully renovated, brand new this, brand new that, a description can really tell you a lot on either the seller or the buyer. Like I said, guys, I know this seems way too simple or way too good to be true, but it actually works. And I hope you guys can see that. This is exactly what I teach everybody within my program. People like Christian, for instance, who I actually just did an interview with, you should go watch that, who just closed his first deal for $24,000 using the same method. I have a very hard time seeing why this wouldn't be able to work for you. If you'd like to learn wholesaling from me personally, there's a link in the description for that. But regardless, there's a ton of free game on my channel that you can learn from. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.